Across Michigan Avenue from Orchestra Hall is the site of Chicago's first convention center. No, it's not the Art Institute. It's a building that stood here before the Art Institute was built. It was the Interstate Industrial Exposition Building. Republican James A. Garfield and Democrat Grover Cleveland were both nominated for president at conventions held in this hall. The Exposition Building was razed in 1892 to make room for what is now the Art Institute. The new building was first used by the World's Columbian Exposition of 1893 to host a series of international conferences representing every conceivable activity of humanity. It was the only fair building not in Hyde Park. When the fair ended, the Art Institute moved in. But the list of artists etched into the frieze was either false advertising or wishful thinking. The early collection had few significant paintings beyond a handful of Dutch masters, and virtually all of the sculptures were replicas of famous works. Over time, the permanent collection grew, as many of Chicago's wealthy families bequeathed major works of art and helped to fund important purchases. One of the most sobering galleries is a display of fragments from great Chicago buildings that have been demolished. The biggest fragment of all is the entire trading room from Louis Sullivan's magnificent stock exchange building. A ragtag group of preservationists salvaged it piece by piece, even while the great building was being torn down around them. One of them, the great architectural photographer Richard Nickel, was killed when a part of the building collapsed on him. The entrance arch from the stock exchange was also saved and reassembled outside the Art Institute. It joins other artworks outside the museum, most notably the famous lions by Edward Kemys, which were installed in 1894. The Art Institute has expanded many times since 1893, but nothing comes close to the opening of the new modern wing in 2009. The most dramatic feature is what architect Renzo Piano calls the flying carpet roof that seems to levitate above the building. It's made of custom-designed fins that bathe the top-floor gallery in soft natural light while blocking out the harsh rays of direct sun. The new wing houses modern and contemporary art, photography, architecture, and design. It increases the museum's overall gallery space by 30%. The modern wing's rooftop sculpture garden is open to the public free of charge. You can get there from Monroe Street or from Millennium Park by crossing this 620-foot long bridge, also designed by Renzo Piano.